The Earth is made up of dash and dash. Strong choice. Land and water is the right answer.
An elevated flat is known as dash.
Excellent. Plateau is a brilliant choice.
An extensive land area having a relatively level surface raised sharply above adjacent land on at least one side. Tableland.
Great job. Plateau is the accurate answer.
Dash plateaus have irregular surface marked by canyons, gorges and steep, narrow valleys formed by the process of erosion.
Right choice. Dissected is the best answer.
Known as the summer destination in India, this state is famous for its hill stations such as Manali, Shimla, Kullu, etc.
Nice selection. Himachal Pradesh is the correct and valid answer.
What is this landform?
Correct. Delta is the right answer.
When two tectonic plates of the Earth's crust collide, they fold over each other and form mountains known as dash.
Well picked. Fold is the correct answer.
A large natural elevation of the Earth's surface, rising abruptly from the surrounding level, a large steep hill.
Right again. Mountain is a valid answer.
The Dash Plateau is the highest in the world with a height of 4,000 to 6,000 meters above the mean sea level.
Exactly. Tibetan makes sense and it is right choice.
Which of the following are examples of young fold mountains? The Aravalis, the Himalayas, the Alps, both B and C.
On track, both B and C is the correct answer.
A dayash is an elevated flat land. It is a flat top tableland standing above the surrounding area.
Well reasoned. Platos is the correct choice.
A low area of land between hills or mountains, typically with a river or stream flowing through it.
You got it? Your choice valley is right.
A continent that has the most indented coastline and has numerous ports and harbors in the world.
You're right. Europe is the correct answer.
Millions of years ago, there was only one big landmass called dash on the surface of the Earth.
Nicely done. Pag is a solid answer.
This state was carved out from the former state of Bihar and is a storehouse of many minerals.
Great thinking. Jharkhand is the right choice.
Dash plains are formed in those areas where the rock layers are aligned almost horizontally.
Nice work. You chose structural, and it is correct.
What is a natural elevation of the Earth's surface? It rises higher than its surroundings.
Clear logic. Your choice mountain is sound and 100% true.
Which of these contains a lot of nutrients so that plants will grow very well in the soil?
Good job. Your answer planes works well here.
The surface is being lowered by the process of erosion and rebuilt by the process of dash.
Excellent choice. Deposition is the right answer.
The rock strata of the fold mountains were originally laid down as dash in water bodies.
Sharp thinking. Sediments is the right choice.
The wearing away of the Earth's surface is called a dash hours, and its rebuilding is called dash.
Valid point. Erosion, deposition is true.
The dash are external forces which continuously wear down and rebuild the land surface. Smart move. Gradational is an accurate answer.
A landform that extends above the surrounding terrain. It often has a distinct summit.
Smart pick. Hills is the correct choice.
In India too, the Indo-Gangetic Plains are the least populated regions of the country. Solid response. False is a valid choice. Generally, a steep hill with an elevation of more than 600 meters is termed as a dash. You chose mountain, and it is correct.
The plains which are formed by deposition of silt, clay and sand by river called dash.
Well done. Depositional plains is the right choice. The Rhine Valley and the Vosges Mountain in Europe are the examples of dash mountains. Perfect. Block is the correct choice. The fractures found when two plates on the Earth's crust get pulled apart are called. Good thinking. False is the right answer. A large area of flat land at low elevation equal to height above the surface of the Earth. Correct response. Plain is the most accurate answer.
What is the term used to describe mountains that have been worn down by weathering?
Bravo. Peneplains is the answer.
The lava plateaus are rich in dash soil that are fertile and good for cultivation. Correct response. Black is the most accurate answer.
These mountains are created when large areas are broken and displaced vertically. Well reasoned. Block is the correct choice.
The dash is responsible for the upliftment and subsidence of the Earth's surface. On track. Tectonic forces is the correct answer. In India, huge reserves of iron, coal and manganese are found in the Dash Plateau. Smart pick. Chotanapa is the correct choice. Which process is the continuous wearing down and rebuilding of the land surface? Nice work. You chose external process and it is correct. Mountain is a huge landmass which rises more than dash above the mean sea level. Correct. 900 is the right answer. The Dash Range in India is one of the oldest fold mountain systems in the world. You chose Aravalli, and it is correct. The uplifted blocks are termed as dash, and the lowered blocks are called dash. Exactly. Horst Graben makes sense, and it is right choice. In some mountains, there are permanently frozen rivers of ice. They are called. Right again. Glaciers is a valid answer. Plains are thickly populated than mountains and plateaus. State true or false. Good job. Your answer true works well here. India shares its boundaries with Bangladesh and Myanmar in which direction? Great job. East is the accurate answer.
Dash is a Spanish term which refers to several mountain groups and systems.
Excellent. Cordillera is a brilliant choice. The Rhine Valley in Europe and Vosges Mountain in Europe are examples of.
You got it. Your choice block mountains is right.
In some mountains, there are permanently frozen rivers of ice known as a dash. Strong choice. Glacier is the right answer. The rivers bring down eroded materials from the mountains. They are called. Well picked. Debris is the correct answer. a large landform that stretches above surrounding land, usually in a peak. Clear logic. Your choice mountain is sound and 100% true. The rupturing or fracturing of rock strata due to strain is known as dash. Great thinking. Faulting is the right choice.
A continent that is almost circular in shape located in the extreme south.
Bravo, Antarctica is the answer. Which process leads to the upliftment and sinking of the Earth's surface?
Good thinking. Internal process is the right answer.
A state close to Punjab which does not share an international boundary.
Nice selection. Haryana is the correct and valid answer.
A steep hill with an elevation of more than 600 meters is known as dash.
Valid point. Mountain is true.
Identify the state in India which does not has plains as its landform.
Perfect. Uttarakhand is the correct choice.
Slopes are generally steep and very less land is available for farming.
Smart move. True is an accurate answer.
Huge slabs of rock that move in relation to each other are called dash. Well done. Tectonic plates is the right choice. A low area between two hills. It often has a river running through it. You're right, valley is the correct answer. A dash is a land surface that rises higher than the surrounding area.
Right choice. Hill is the best answer.
The process by which the lighter plate goes above the heavier plate. Nicely done. Subduction is a solid answer. Meti Kilimanjaro in Africa and Mt Fujiyama in Japan are examples of. Excellent choice. Volcanic mountains is the right answer. A flat-topped tableland standing above the surrounding area is dash. Solid response. Plateaus is a valid choice. 5 dash are suitable for agriculture, settlement, and transportation. Sharp thinking. Plains is the right choice. The Himalayas and the Alps are examples of dash, types of mountains. Sharp thinking. Fold is the right choice. Which one of the following is the youngest folded mountain in India? Clear logic. Your choice Himalayas is sound and 100% true. Plateaus, plains, mountains, deserts are different examples of dash. Good thinking. Landforms is the right answer. The Ural Mountains in dash have rounded features and low elevation. Right choice. Russia is the best answer. A large body of fresh water that flows into other bodies of water. Excellent. River is a brilliant choice. Which one of the following is an example of a young fold mountain? Exactly. Himalayas makes sense, and it is right choice. A continent that occupies 1/3 of the land area of our planet. Strong choice. Asia is the right answer. Large land masses rising high above the surrounding areas are dash. Great job. Mountains is the accurate answer. Plains are very useful because they are rich in mineral deposits. Well picked. False is the correct answer. Which of the following is not an agent of erosion and deposition? Great thinking.
Volcanoes is the right choice.
A body of salt water that covers almost 71% of Earth's surface.
You're right. Ocean is the correct answer.
Syncline is U-shaped and consists the newest rock in the center.
Perfect. True is the correct choice.
Mountains are very useful. The mountains are the storehouse of...
You chose water, and it is correct.
The uplifted blocks of the block mountains are called as dash.
Smart move. Horst is an accurate answer.
The Himalayas, the Alps, and Andes are mountain ranges of dash.
Excellent choice. Asia is the right answer.
A continent that is shaped roughly like an inverted triangle.
Nice work. You chose South America, and it is correct. Many of the mining areas in the world are located in the dash.
Smart pick. Plateaus is the correct choice.
Dash. Plains are the most densely populated regions of India.
Valid point. Indo-Gangetic is true.
A rich variety of flora and fauna is found in the mountains.
Solid response. True is a valid choice.
The Dash Range in India is one of the oldest fold mountains.
Nicely done. Aravalli is a solid answer.
The Himalayan mountains and the Alps are old fold mountains.
Good job. Your answer false works well here. Meti Fuji in Japan is an example of which type of mountain? Correct. Volcanic mountain is the right answer.
The range of the Himalayas most prone to landslides is the...
Well reasoned. Shivalik is the correct choice.
Mitfujiyama in Japan is an example of volcanic mountains.
Correct response. True is the most accurate answer. Lakshadweep, Andaman, Madagascar, Sri Lanka are examples of. You got it. Your choice islands is right.
What is the average height of plains?
Right again. 2000 nam is a valid answer.
An area of water that is surrounded by land on all sides.
Well done. Lake is the right choice.
Number of countries which are largest than India in area?
Bravo. 6 is the answer.
Name the largest desert of the world that lies in Africa.
Nice selection. Sahara Desert is the correct and valid answer.
Where is it easy to grow crops, build a house, and a road?
On track. Plain is the correct answer.
It is difficult to carry on construction work in plains. Great thinking. False is the right choice. The available land is not only for our use, but also for...
On track. Future generation is the correct answer.
Most of the big cities of the world are located in the...
Smart move. Plains is an accurate answer.
3 important latitudes passes through this continent.
Nice selection. Africa is the correct and valid answer.
Mauna Kea in the Pacific Ocean is an undersea mountain.
You got it. Your choice true is right.
The permanently frozen rivers of ice are called as dash.
Solid response. Glaciers is a valid choice.
A plateau may have one or more sides with steep slopes. Well picked. True is the correct answer. The Chotanagpur Plateau is an example of dash plateau. Correct. Continental is the right answer. Mauna Kea, in the dash, is an undersea mountain. Smart pick. Pacific Ocean is the correct choice.
The uplifted part of block mountains are termed as dash.
Excellent. Horst is a brilliant choice. Which of the following is a young-fold mountain range? Well done. Alps Mountains is the right choice.
In block mountains, the uplifted blocks are termed as.
Great job. Horst is the accurate answer.
Plains are the most useful areas for human habitation.
Nicely done. True is a solid answer. The mountain which is higher than the Mount Everest is. You're right. White Mountain is the correct answer.
Union Territory is home to India's only active volcano.
Perfect. Andaman and Nicobar Islands is the correct choice.
The mountain range that separates Europe from Asia is.
Bravo. The Ural is the answer. What are the weakness of the Earth's crust are called? Well reasoned. Geological faults is the correct choice.
Dash range of Europe are examples of block mountains.
Right again. Vosges is a valid answer. The lowered blocks in block mountains are called dash. Valid point. Graben is true. Volcanic mountains are formed due to dash of activities. Good job. Your answer volcanic works well here. Mauna Kea, an undersea mountain, lies in dash in ocean. Excellent choice. Pacific Ocean is the right answer.
A body that covers 71% of the Earth's as salty water.
Correct response. Ocean is the most accurate answer. India contributes about dash of the area of the world. Strong choice. 2.4% is the right answer. Which landform is considered as storehouse of water?
Right choice. Mountains is the best answer.
The dash day and terraces are ideal for crop cultivation.
Sharp thinking. River basins is the right choice.
World's largest river Amazon flows in the continent.
Nice work. You chose South America and it is correct. The mountains differ from the hills in terms of dash. You chose elevation and it is correct. The Alps, the Rockies are examples of dash mountains. Good thinking. Fold is the right answer. What are the lower blocks in block mountains called? Exactly. Graben makes sense and it is right choice. Plains are not more than 200 meters above sea level. Clear logic. Your choice true is sound and 100% true.
This state has parts of Sundarban Delta lying in it.
Valid point. West Bengal is true. The soil which is lowered by erosion is rebuilt by. Good thinking. Deposition is the right answer. The Appalachians is the example of dash mountain. Excellent choice. Fold is the right answer. The mountains have a broad summit and a small base.
Great thinking. False is the right choice.
Which area is the most useful for human habitation?
Smart pick. Plains is the correct choice.
African plateau is famous for gold and dash mining. You chose diamond, and it is correct.
The wearing away of Earth's surface is called dash.
Perfect. Erosion is the correct choice. The state, which is home to the Great Indian Desert. Essen.
Excellent. Rajasthan is a brilliant choice. Plains are formed by rivers and their tributaries. Great job. True is the accurate answer.
The wearing down of the Earth's surface is called.
Strong choice. Erosion is the right answer.
The Deccan Plateau in India is an example of dash. You got it. Your choice volcanic plateau is right.
Which is the highest mountain range in the world?
Well reasoned. Mount Everest is the correct choice. A long, narrow chain of mountains is called a dash. Nicely done. Range is a solid answer.
Which of the following mountains is not in Europe?
Right choice. Rocky Mountains is the best answer.
In which continent is the Vosges Mountain located?
Sharp thinking. Europe is the right choice.
Mountains may be arranged in a line known as dash.
Nice selection. Range is the correct and valid answer.
In a block mountain, the horst forms the mountain.
Well picked. True is the correct answer.
Anticline consists the oldest rock in the center.
Exactly. True makes sense, and it is right choice. What contains a rich variety of flora and fauna?
Well done. Mountains is the right choice.
Which of the following is not a type of mountain? Correct. Box Mountain is the right answer.
A dash is any natural elevation of Earth's surface.
On track. Mountain is the correct answer.
Some volcanic mountains are found in dash.
Nice work. You chose Japan, Africa, and it is correct.
Uttar Pradesh is drained watered by which river?
Smart move. Ganga is an accurate answer.
Which is the important mountain range of Europe?
Right again. Alps is a valid answer.
Dash is the highest mountain peak in the world.
You're right. Mount Everest is the correct answer.
A dash is an unbroken flat or a low-level land.
Clear logic. Your choice plains is sound and 100% true.
In a block mountain, the graben forms the valley.
Correct response. True is the most accurate answer.
Mount Fujiyama and Mount Kilimanjaro are examples of.
Good job. Your answer, volcanic mountain, works well here.
The volcanic cone is composed of layers of dash.
Solid response. Lava and ash is a valid choice.
The Wadash areas are most productive for farming. Bravo! Plains is the answer.
Mountains have broader base and conical peaks. Nicely done. True is a solid answer.
India is the dash largest country in the world.
Great job. 7th is the accurate answer.
Monarchy, an undersea mountain, is located in.
Clear. Logic. Your choice Pacific Ocean is sound and 100% true.
The gaseous layers that surround the Earth is. Valid point. Atmosphere is true.
The state sandwiched between Bhutan and Nepal.
Well reasoned. Sikkim is the correct choice.
Which is the oldest fold mountain of the world?
Correct. Arawali Range is the right answer.
What type of soil is present in lava plateaus?
Well picked. Black soil is the correct answer. An important mountain range of Europe is dash. Smart pick. The Alps is the correct choice. The landforms are a result of two processes.
You got it. Your choice true is right.
Land that is completely surrounded by water.
You're right. Island is the correct answer.
Mountains have a rich variety of only flora.
Smart move. False is an accurate answer.
As we go higher, the climate becomes hotter. Exactly. False makes sense and it is right choice.
Which one sport is not popular in mountains?
Bravo, football is the answer.
Mountain differs from hill in the terms of.
Correct response. Elevation is the most accurate answer. The biggest state of India in terms of area. Nice selection. Rajasthan is the correct and valid answer. Met Fujiyama is in Dashna and a Dash mountain. Right choice. Japan and volcanic is the best answer. Surface of the Earth is uniform everywhere. Strong choice. False is the right answer. Mountain must be at least over dasher meters. Good job. Your answer 600 works well here. Internal forces are also called dash forces. Well done. Tectonic forces is the right choice.
On mountains, which kind of farming is done?
Great thinking. Step farming is the right choice.
A dash small river that joins a big river. Excellent choice. Tributary is the right answer. How many years old are Old Fold Mountains? Excellent. 250 million years is a brilliant choice.
How many types of fold mountain are there?
Right again, 2 is a valid answer. Water body that lies to the west of India. Solid response. Arabian Sea is a valid choice.
It is the mountain range of South America.
On track. The Andes is the correct answer.
The Deccan Plateau is the oldest mountain.
You chose true, and it is correct.
Mit Fujiyama in Japan is a dash mountain.
Good thinking. Volcanic is the right answer. Mount Kilimanjaro is a dash type of mountain. Perfect. Volcanic is the correct choice. Plateaus are vast stretches of flat land. Nice work. You chose false, and it is correct. Dash is the highest plateau in the world. Sharp thinking. Tibet Plateau is the right choice.
What are long chains of mountains called?
Excellent. Ranges is a brilliant choice.
The country surrounded by 3 oceans is.
Well picked. North America is the correct answer. The largest plains of India are the dash.
Exactly. Indo-Gangetic Plains makes sense, and it is right choice.
The landforms on the Earth are formed by. Clear logic. Your choice tectonic forces is sound and 100% true. The rope bridge is in Arunachal Pradesh.
Good thinking. True is the right answer.
The highest plateau in the world is dash. Smart pick. Tibetan Plateau is the correct choice. The Dash Ocean is named after a country.
Well done. Indian is the right choice.
Dash areas are rich in mineral deposits.
Good job. Your answer plateaus works well here.
The lava plateaus are rich in dashed soil.
Sharp thinking. Black is the right choice.
There is only one type of fold mountain.
Smart move. False is an accurate answer. The lower blocks in block mountains are.
On track. Graben is the correct answer.
Mountains vary in their dash day and shape.
Great job. Height is the accurate answer. Which of these is not a river in India?
You're right. Mekong is the correct answer.
Which is the tallest undersea mountain?
You chose White Mountain, and it is correct.
Prairies of the USA are an example of.
Bravo. Plains is the answer.
What is the capital of Andhra Pradesh? Excellent choice. Hyderabad is the right answer. Rain washing away soil from a hillside. Well reasoned. Erosion is the correct choice. Russian platform is an example of dash. Correct response. Structural plane is the most accurate answer. This is like a mountain but smaller. You got it. Your choice hill is right. Large stretches of flat land is called.
Nice selection. Plains is the correct and valid answer.
Lucknow is the capital of which state? Solid response. Uttar Pradesh is a valid choice. Mountains arranged in a line is called.
Right again. Range is a valid answer.
The Andes are mountain ranges of dash.
Correct. South America is the right answer.
The landmass of India has an area of. Right choice. 3.28 million SQ is the best answer. Permanently frozen rivers are called.
Nice work. You chose glaciers, and it is correct.
The large landmasses are known as the.
Nicely done. Continents is a solid answer.
Name the capital of Himachal Pradesh.
Great thinking. Shimla is the right choice. Example of an erosional plain is dash.
Valid point. West Siberian is true.
Another name for external forces, dash.
Strong choice. Gradational forces is the right answer.
And Kilimanjaro is an example of dash.
Perfect. Volcanic mountain is the correct choice. A piece of land surrounded by water.
Sharp thinking. Island is the right choice.
Mount Kilimanjaro is located in dash. Good job. Your answer Africa works well here.
The Himalayas are the ranges of dash.
Excellent choice. Asia is the right answer. Mountains are a storehouse of dash. Valid point. Water is true. The highest mountain of the world is? Right again. Mount Everest is a valid answer. What is a flat elevated land called? Correct response. Plateaus is the most accurate answer. Which mountain range is the largest? Excellent. Andes, South America, is a brilliant choice. An example for volcanic mountains is? Exactly. Don't. Kilimanjaro makes sense and it is right choice.
The smallest state in terms of area.
On track. Goa is the correct answer. The movement of Earth is termed as? Smart move. None of the above is an accurate answer.
The top of a mountain is called the
Clear logic. Your choice summit is sound and 100% true. Jog Falls are in Karnataka Plateau. Nice work. You chose true and it is correct. Rift valleys are formed due to dash. You got it. Your choice faulting is right.
Which of these are block mountains?
Good thinking. Vosges is the right answer. The smallest state in India is dash.
Great thinking. Goa is the right choice.
Dash is the peninsula of peninsulas.
Right choice. Europe is the best answer.
What are the storehouse of water? Well picked. Mountains is the correct answer. The Dash Islands are coral islands. Nice selection. Lakshadweep is the correct and valid answer.
Himalayas are one part of the dash.
You chose mountain, and it is correct. The highest waterfall of India is? Great job. Jog Falls is the accurate answer. Ural Mountains are located in dash. Solid response. Europe is a valid choice. The mountains are a dash wire of water. Well done. Storehouse is the right choice. The world's highest plateau is the? Bravo. Plateau Tibetan is the answer. A plateau is also called as dash. You're right. Tableland is the correct answer. Which is the oldest fold mountain? Well reasoned. Arwali is the correct choice.
Example of old fold mountains dash.
Smart pick. Aravalis is the correct choice. Landforms suitable for agriculture.
perfect. Plains is the correct choice. Dash are large stretches of land. Nicely done. Plains is a solid answer.
Which one is not a fold mountain?
Correct. The Vesuvius is the right answer.
Plains are not flat land surfaces. Strong choice. False is the right answer. Plateaus contain many waterfalls. Well done. True is the right choice. Dash mountains have conical peaks.
Nicely done. Young Fold Mountains is a solid answer.
Where does the Yangtze River flow? Perfect. China is the correct choice. Permanently frozen rivers of ice.
Solid response. Glaciers is a valid choice.
There are dash types of mountains. Right choice. 3 is the best answer.
How many countries border India?
Valid point. 9 is true.
The climate of mountains is dash.
Strong choice. Harsh is the right answer.
Where is Mount Vesuvius located?
Correct response. None of these is the most accurate answer.
Mount Fujiyama is an example of.
Excellent choice. Volcanic mountains is the right answer.
The Andes are an example of dash.
Nice selection. Youngfold Mountain is the correct and valid answer.
The Deccan Plateau is located in.
Smart pick. India is the correct choice.
The dash is a line of mountains.
You're right. Range is the correct answer.
The river Yangtze flows in dash.
On track. China is the correct answer.
The oldest plateau in India is.
Great job. Deccan Plateau is the accurate answer.
East African Plateau is in dash.
You got it. Your choice Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda is right.
Dash are a storehouse of water.
Good thinking. Mountains is the right answer.
Which is the largest continent?
Right again. Asia is a valid answer.
Name the capital of Rajasthan.
Smart move. Jaipur is an accurate answer.
What is lithos in lithosphere?
Great thinking. Stone is the right choice.
Glaciers are found in the dash.
Clear logic. Your choice mountains is sound and 100% true.
Dash are known as tablelands.
Nice work. You chose plateaus and it is correct.
Where is Grand Canyon located?
Well reasoned. Colorado Plateau is the correct choice.
Endogenic processes occur dash.
Sharp thinking. Inside the earth is the right choice.
Where does river Yangtze flow?
Bravo. China is the answer.
It is not a natural calamity. You chose rain, and it is correct.
Examples of volcanic mountain. Excellent. Mount Etna and Vesuvius is a brilliant choice.
Narmada is an example of dash.
Good job. Your answer Rift Valley works well here.
An example of fold mountains.
Exactly. Aravalli Range in Rajasthan makes sense, and it is right choice.
The Himalayan mountains are.
Well picked. Fold mountains is the correct answer.
Wearing away of the earth is.
Correct. Erosion is the right answer.
The Tibetan Plateau is Akka.
Bravo. Roof of the world is the answer.
Name the capital of Kerala.
On track. Thiruvananthapuram is the correct answer.
Which is the largest ocean?
Right again. Pacific Ocean is a valid answer.
Highest mountain in the U.
Well reasoned. Jebel al Jais is the correct choice.
Choose the correct option.
Great job. Flora, flowers, fauna, animals is the accurate answer.
A plateau is also known as.
Perfect. Tableland is the correct choice.
Which continent is larger?
Good thinking. Europe is the right answer.
Plateaus are rich in dash.
Nicely done. Minerals is a solid answer.
Where are glaciers found?
Exactly. In mountains makes sense, and it is right choice.
Ural Mountains is in dash.
Excellent. Russia is a brilliant choice.
Which is the blue planet?
Well done. Earth is the right choice.
The plains of Khufu is in.
Great thinking. Africa is the right choice.
Mount Fuji is locked in.
Solid response. None of the above is a valid choice. Types of mountains are. Excellent choice. All of the above is the right answer.
Ural Mountains are in.
Valid point. Russia is true. The Hanzhou Falls is in. Correct response. Chotanagpur is the most accurate answer. River of Ice is called.
Sharp thinking. Glacier is the right choice.
Yangtze is located in. Smart move. China is an accurate answer.
Talk Strait is between.
Right choice. India and Sri Lanka is the best answer.
Meti Kilimanjaro is in. Clear logic. Your choice, Africa, is sound and 100% true. Glaciers are found in.
Strong choice. Mountain is the right answer.
Dig Dagger Plains are in. Smart pick. Yi is the correct choice. It is a lava plateau. Nice selection. The Columbia Plateau is the correct and valid answer. Patagonia is in dash. You're right. Argentina is the correct answer. The Appalachians in. Well picked. North America is the correct answer. The Himalayas are. Good job. Your answer, Fold Mountains, works well here. Himalayas are.
You got it? Your choice, Young Fold Mountains, is right.
Tibet is a dash. Nice work. You chose plateau and it is correct. Tibet is a. You chose plateau and it is correct.
Digi. Correct. FGJ is the right answer.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format.
Well picked. Contact Narayan Changder on Facebook is the correct answer.